don't want to speak a lot. I just want you to listen to this longish nyana. It's not even a maiden one. It's a longish nyana, Colleen Makhubele. She's been touted as the next big leader of MK. So this is her mind in Parliament. So I just want you to sit back, listen, and then maybe at the end, maybe just give me your idea what you think of her. I'm a big fan of Colleen Makhubele. I've been chasing her when she was at Sara. The whole entire time I could not get hold of her. But I just want you to understand. It's going to be very tough for any woman to lead a political party. But let's just talk about her. Look at her, think about her, and if she's material for higher positions within MK and of course in government. I've said it a lot. I've said a lot in the podcast that we're craving for women to go into leadership. So please watch it and then tell me what you feel about her. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Please, thank you. Thank you, House Chair. Thank you, honorable members. Today, we recognize the progress made since 19 March 1911 towards the dismantling and systematic undervaluing and exclusion of women and their role in society. We have seen significant milestones such as the Beijing Declaration and Security Council Resolution 1325 on women, peace and security. Yet, despite this achievement, from Afghanistan to DRC, from Palestine to Haiti, from Ukraine to Sudan and beyond, women's voices remain conspicuously absent in peace talks and negotiations, whilst they bear the heaviest burdens of conflict, displacement, and loss. What is most shocking is the silence of women themselves. Revolution is when women empowerment departs from being a conversation, but becomes an everyday deliberate pursuit of tangible actions for inclusivity, equality, and development for all women. Yet, true revolution begins with rekindling the contribution of African women in resisting colonialism and defending their territories, land, and heritage. In our history, across racial lines, women have displayed great heroism and selflessness during our most difficult times. When men were forced to go underground, imprisoned, or silenced by torture, it was women, mothers, and grandmothers who kept the torch of families and communities alight. It was the militancy of Mama Winnie Mandela, Albert Sisulu, Helen Joseph, Ruth First, Rahima Musa, and many others who mobilized women to protest against apartheid. Long before Van Riebeeck arrived on our shores, women were involved in shaping political, tribal, and spiritual landscape. The wisdom of Queen Mujaji ruled the Lobedi community since before the 1800s. The talented Eva of the Khoi negotiated a cooperative relationship that ended the Khoi Dutch War. The fearless warrior Mantatisi, she led the army to protect the Klokwa people from the British invaders and preserved her land. And Umkabai Kajama, the sister of Senzanga Khona and an aunt to Shaka Zulu, she led the men in the Royal Council with an iron fist, and she was present in every battle. In Angola, Queen Zinga, she fought for the freedom of her people against the Portuguese and transformed her kingdom to rival the Portuguese colonies. To the Trekker women, led by Suzanne Smith, they opposed the British rule and became the force behind the Great Trek in the Anglo-Boer War. But notwithstanding these capabilities, Africa's socioeconomic recovery from brutal colonization and slave trade has been lagging, mainly because African leaders, mostly men, have mismanaged and abused their power, failing to recognize the importance of women participation. Even as we sit here, House Chair, in this august house, looking at the caucus represented here, it is evident that nothing much has changed. And now, what is most shocking, again, is the silence of women. Women have fought alongside men. It is not a favor to have women inclusion. and participation. It is a duty and an obligation. Today, we honor women who also possess tremendous local impact and global influence. We congratulate Dr. Naledi Pandor on her appointment as the Honorary Professor in Education at the University of Pretoria. We continue to honor Mama Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, the first female head of the African Union Commission. Her and Mama Lindiwe Sisulu, knowing the inevitable consequences, they boldly contested the presidency of the ANC and by extension that of South Africa, representing the aspirations of many African women and inspiring girls everywhere. And in no less measure, we applaud ordinary women's contribution in all sectors. Indeed, we move forward in pursuit of the clarion call as announced by the UN Secretary General that for all women and girls, rights, equality, empowerment, everywhere, always. However, the reality in our townships and villages, it does not reflect these great stars. Gender-based violence, rape, and femicide remains high. Women, particularly in rural areas, face structural economic exclusion. We do not own land. We do not have access to capital. Women unemployment rate is 43% and rising. We do not even own spaza shops. 70% of women are living in extreme poverty, a situation that is worsened by the VAT increase that was announced here yesterday and the ever-rising cost of living. The women of the GNU should hang their heads in shame that 60% of 19 million grants paid out every month goes to women. And these women depend on these social grants for basic needs. Despite the GNU having a ministry for women, boasting one of the highest numbers of female representatives in parliament, we have few women in STEM. Over 2 million women caregivers are unable to work.
Order, honorable members. Order. Honorable members, may I remind you that the honorable member is delivering a maiden speech. However, order, honorable members, when you also deliver a maiden speech, you will forfeit the right of a maiden speech once you attack other members or other political parties. So it's a give and take, Dr. Shlope.
Thank you, House Chair. Over 2 million women caregivers are unable to work due to lack of functional old age and disability homes. Women in retail and restaurants face daily abuse without benefits of safe transformation. Again, what is most shocking, the GNU women are howling and they are silent. GNU women, they must learn. You must learn from the queens of old, the real Mbogodos. They fought the true revolutionary battles. They fought for land. They fought for the territories and the heritage of their children. The MK clarion call for women is very simple. All women and girls everywhere always must own land. If this GNU does not accelerate economic inclusion of women and girls, if these GNU women do not accelerate the mega transformation drive for women, this is truly a good for nothing unity. That's what GNU stands for, good for nothing unity. The Tuma Mina women sitting here, you need to prove your worth in salt to our people. Give them safe cities for their girls. Give us water in our villages. Give us opportunities to advance. Be unapologetic, using state resources, budgets, and state entities to empower women. Make it a mega transformation for women. Otherwise, this is a good for nothing unity. To our progressive women, to my sisters in the progressive left, what will be our legacy in this 7th administration? We must become the force that demands the recalibration of the progressive unity. We must push for the removal of any barriers or individuals that undermine or exacerbate fallout and deepen divisions. It is our duty as women to de-escalate the tensions and lower the volumes of direct confrontations and focus on our socio-economic policies for South Africa and Africa. We know as sure as the sun will rise, the
Honourable
GNU
member.
era is coming to an end.
Honourable member, will you take your seat, please? Yes, honourable member, why do you want to be recognized?
Chair, I know it's a maiden speech.
Oh, we are
but
being
if
jealous
the-
now.
No,
if the
honourable
member
members.
prepared to take a question.
No,
We are being
honourable
jealous
member.
now. We are being jealous now.
Why
are you jealous?
It's against convention
Why are you
that you
jealous?
ask a member.
You are jealous.
Order. Who's speaking?
You are jealous.
agenda is
Chief,
this?
sit down.
Who is the
Take your
member
seat.
that's shouting on the
Take your
microphone?
seat. Take your seat, Chief. You are wasting our time.
Who is the member who is using a microphone without being
Chair,
recognized?
it's Honorable Nombal.
Honourable member, order. Honourable Makhubele, will you take your seat, please? Honourable members. Honourable members, you cannot just switch on your microphone and then you start addressing the House. If you do it again, I'm going to ask you to leave the chamber. Honourable Makhubele, will you continue, please?
Chair, I asked a question.
No, honourable member, it's not convention to ask a member
It's
who's
not
delivering.
convention to insult as well on
Please
your
take your
maiden
seat.
speech.
Please take your
It's not
seat.
conventional.
Please take your seat, honourable member. Honourable Makhubele,
Thank you, House
honourable
Chair.
member. The member is asking if you will take a question from him.
No, I will not take
Thank
questions.
you.
Thank you, House Chair. Shababa, I know. Intiyiso. The question is, how long can the GNU continue to resist the inclusion of a progressive agenda? And we as the progressive women must get our houses in order and be ready to govern. So what about the BRICS and G20? GNU is emphasizing solidarity, equality, and inclusion at the G20 summit. The BRICS Bloc Plus is expanding its economic influence and de-dollarizing their global trade. Yet none of the G20 and BRICS countries, including South Africa, are making necessary policy and budget changes and communicating them to ensure the inclusion of women and girls, especially the rural women. We were shocked to see the president of this country acting shocked at the state of the Gauteng when they went for the oversight. Where was he when the women were crying, losing their babies from spaza shop poisoning? Where was he when the Hammanskraal women were burying their children because of the cholera water? Where was he when the streets of Johannesburg burst open? Taxis were flying all over because of the lawlessness of Zamazamas. What troubles the president now that he goes to the city of Joburg and to the city of Tshwane? It's nothing but Bayern. You are preparing for visitors. You may deny it, but your priority is for visitors. It is not for our people. In conclusion, these GNU sectors that cannot even get a budget approved with their partner DA who is so confused, they don't know whether they're in opposition or they're in government. Their arrogance and hypocrisy is exactly why we dislodged them in the city of
Honourable
Johannesburg.
member, your time is now expired. Thank you.
Thank you.
Order.